that we came here during the mass migration, right? We came in the 1920s. No, we were here in the 17th century. And so this is the thing that we got to make sure our young people know, that our ancestors have been calling us to this space for a very long time. So we said, how did we get here? Well, they've been calling us. And guess what? We're here today, and we're going to be here forever. So please get in touch with us. We're excited about this project. Certainly, as we move forward, goals in terms of making sure that we get some good, solid nonprofit operators to that site. We want to make sure that our community is in charge of the site and that prejudice. So please don't sleep on this, because sometimes things happen in our community and we sleep on things. They say, how did they get past us? How did they get it? How can we know about it? Well, guess what? Now you got all
whatever, but we were here since the 15th century in a variety of ways. The historical record tells us that the approximately 9-mile road from New Haarlem, the Dutch colony, up to from New Amsterdam, or New Netherlands, up to New Haarlem, was built by free and enslaved Africans. So our history, our culture, our participation is centuries long, and we intend to honor that, to preserve that, to tell it, to teach it, because it is vitally important. If not, free and enslaved Africans have literally, as many of you may know, built this entire city, state, and nation, and that needs knowledge. So that's we need to make sure many have heard, and it's alarming that in 30 states and growing, the outlawing of teaching Black students. That is a travesty, but it's not going to happen here. So that's part and parcel of our work. Those of us on the Burial Ground Initiative, I happen to be chosen.
Thank you very much. So coming up next is the Director of Public Programming, General Manager of the Data Center, Ms. Darlene Mullaney, and with her is Mitchell, Director of the Civic Engagement and Managing Program for the Central Park Conservancy. Oh my goodness. Conservancy. Thank you, Rosa. Welcome.
Beautiful people. Thank you so much for inviting us, and thank you to Harlem Arts Alliance and Harlem School of the Arts for hosting us. This is such a beautiful place. This is my second time being here, and I feel like every time I come on a Friday in this visit, it's like I'm like mindfulness. So thank you. I'll pass it on to my wonderful colleagues to introduce themselves. But my name is Darlene Mullaney, and I'm the Director of Public Programs and General Manager of the Data Center.
Good morning, neighbors. My name is Stormy McNair, and I'm the Senior Manager of Programming Partnerships at Central Park Conservancy. I can tell you the last time I was in this building, it didn't look like this. But owned by the city in New York City Park Department. Now, due to horrible conditions in the early 1980s, Central Park began approaching New York City Parks Department with an interest to build a private-public partnership to really clean up the park. And following that official contract, first of its kind, the Central Park Conservancy began as a nonprofit then and has cared for and maintained the beauty of Central Park. Now here's the mission behind who we are and what we do. And that is to preserve and celebrate Central Park as a sanctuary from the pace and pressures of city life, enhancing the enjoyment and well-being for all. Now this here shows our current offerings. Now, for anyone who might not be familiar, our present-day programmatic offerings include information services at 5 visitor centers within the park, as well as 3 information kiosks. A retail operation that spans 4 of those in-park locations, and an online website. We have daily public tours that run 7 days a week that are seen.
And this slide just shows you the breadth of work that we do with a lot of organizations. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Data Center, but everything that's in green, it's additional programming that we're going to offer at the Data Center.
Now, the Davis Center at the Harlem-Mere, has anyone noticed a bunch of construction happening just inside of the park at 110th Street? Well, pretty soon, the fencing and everything will be down in the next few weeks. Now, this overview is the old Lasker Rink and Pool. It was an ice rink during the winter. It was a pool during the summer. The rest of the year it was closed. The pool was run by Parks Department, like public pools and beaches within New York City. And the rink was run by a private entity. And much of the programming was not enjoyable unless you were an avid hockey enthusiast and player.
And now you wonder, where's the building? The building is actually tucked into the hillside. So you see where that rectangle is? That's where the building is going to be. The intention behind this design is to make sure that as you're walking to the facility, you're really seeing the park. We really want to make sure that the park is the program. But more importantly, the work that we're doing is about sustainability. And part of sustainability is really understanding Central Park. Lasker Rank, if you remember Huddlestone, Arch, probably you didn't go through it, because I know I didn't. With this location, it's really going to expand the park and really make sure that it's welcoming for all. And now, the beautiful part is, we have the swimming, we have the skating, but now we have an Harlem oval green space. And it's really exciting because one of the things that Stormy mentioned was that, previously Lasker Rink and Pool was 6 months. It was closed out of the year. This time we're looking to do just the opposite. It's going to be open all year round. And with the Harlem oval green space, it's really there for passive recreation, but we really see it as an extension of the park, making sure that we're going to offer various things such as yoga, meditation, and just relax, getting to know your family. So that's the intention of that space in the middle that will be offered during spring and fall.
Now we're going to run through a few present day photos that may be about a couple weeks old since we visited the last time, so it's not to interrupt too much of what needs to happen. Now this here is a photo from that Huddlestone Arch that Darlene mentioned. Now even though the ice rink was not open this year, it's important for us to really test out the mechanical systems, to really commission the ice, make sure everything works for the winter that's coming. And the staircase that you see leads right up to an overlook above the building, which will have a full green roof. You will be able to appreciate the intensive green roof coming together, and we call it intensive because we've recently learned that you have the ability to plant mature trees on that roof. And so we're really excited to see those bloom with the coming weeks. And that white tint was a temporary for our Zamboni to clean the ice as we were testing everything out. Now this is a photo of the inside of the building. The inside of the building, as Darlene mentioned, is the house of the building. This will be the hallway that leads you to the locker rooms, the restrooms, the shower facilities during the summer. And then this beautiful photo of what we are going to call the gathering space. We'll have those very large, heavy picnic tables inside. That will give you a moment to just take a rest, whether you're grabbing something from the concession, whether you're passing through, throwing on your ice skates, making sure they're tight as you're heading toward the ice. And this is a night view, literally from the ice, from where we tested it. You see the lights, and you even can appreciate the skylight at the very top of the roof. And the photo closer to Darlene shows our 14-foot curtain windows. Those windows are bird friendly. There is a pattern that the birds can see, and those windows will actually be able to pivot open, so they will open, you'll be able to walk through in the warmer months, but close tight to conserve warmth and energy when it's cold.
Now, as Stormy mentioned, we did test the ice, so we had to make sure we brought in some real skaters. And so if you remember Lasker Rank, it really was for profit. We're looking to do the opposite. So we don't even know what to call ourselves a center. It's so much more than that. So we've reached our wine, wellness and fit classes. And as I mentioned, we're being very intentional with all of our partnerships. So all of these partners that you see here are our local partners doing amazing work already in the community. You might know already some of them, but multitasking yoga, Go Hard Dance, Harlem School of the Arts actually is going to be part of our opening celebration, Art in the Park, and also District 5 Public School. But we are also making sure that, our goal with the first year is making sure that it is a functional system, that we are providing great customer service. And so we are being very intentional about how many partners we engage, but that is something that we're looking to grow for next year. And then during the summer months, even though the facility itself will be managed by the Parks Department, so swimming will still be happening, we are working with the Parks Department to ensure that the type of swimming program that's being provided really resonates with the community. When the facility was being built, we were very intentional about to the community. All of the partners gave us so there's a lot that's happening in the summer. I think summer's calling us. Is that what you're thinking? You want to try? Okay, he's going to try. Well, let me talk to you about the ice. Oh, there you go, the ice skating, perfect timing. So as they say, once you fall, you get back up. And so one of the things last rink, as I mentioned, was really for profit. So our goal is to really create a balanced and equitable ice time. So that means ensuring that our program partners do receive dedicated ice time for them to really execute their wonderful program. But we're also going to be adding more community skate, also known as public skating in other rinks. But also learn to skate. We really want folks to really come and not just see the facility as one season, but all throughout. So you can come and skate, you can come and swim, and also in addition to that, you can just come and relax.
Now, as you can imagine, community engagement is key to this project's success. This is a sampling of the many organizations we're in active conversations with about the Davis Center, all of whom are very excited to spread the word and drive traffic for our Harlem community. It is It's important that we step outside of the parks to raise such awareness. Here's a photo, closer to me, of the team as well as supportive colleagues, all of us living in Harlem, who table annually at Harlem Week. And you see another photo of the team along with Councilman Yusef Salam at the District 5 Superintendent meeting.
So before we get into my one slide, the system really gave me one slide. So I could have stayed home for this. Before we get into this slide, I just want to, congratulate, Sharon Wilkins, the EDC team, and William Allen for all of the work that they've done on the Harlem Burial Ground project. As a lot of you may know, Central Park was also built on top of a thriving black community called Seneca Village. And a couple of weeks ago, we had an event at the Schomburg because the Central Park Conservancy were also commemorating Seneca Village, and we're doing public outreach and community outreach to figure out what we want to see there. If you come to Central Park now and you go to the Seneca Village site, we have poster boards and we have the scenery. But that's just something that it's not long term. We want to really envision what the site is going to look like and what we want it to be. So we're going to be doing a lot of outreach to the community to figure out what that is, and we got that through a grant from the Mellon. The Central Park Conservancy is definitely in the business of remembrance and preserving our black history and culture. So now, when you look at this slide, you're just looking at the north side of the park. Like Stormy mentioned, in the late 70s and early 80s, if some of you remember, Central Park looked like a war zone, a lot of graffiti, it was really bad. Central Park Conservancy, a nonprofit organization, has raised funded over $1 billion worth of restoration into the park. When you look at the north end, if any of you guys have been to the Conservatory Gardens between 94th and 96th Street on 5th Avenue, that has its first major renovation since 1983. That's ongoing now, and that'll be reopening in May. It's a beautiful garden. People get married there, take their wedding photos. So if you haven't been there, get out to the park, to the Conservatory Gardens, at the North Meadow Recreation Center, a major renovation going over there. New pickleball courts, handball courts, basketball courts, public amenities, bathrooms, restrooms. Then we have the Northwoods Environmental Education. If you don't have to go to the Adirondack Mountains to get that feeling in Central Park. You can go right to the Upper West Side and walk the trail. If some of you that are not scared to go back there, but you walk through the woods, it's for nature lovers, bird lovers. It's very quiet and one of my best parts of the park. A lot of people talk about the lower side of Central Park. Trust me, the north side of the park is quite a jewel if you take some time to experience it. Last summer, we introduced what's called the Central Park / Corbin Hill Food Project Farm Stand. It's a collaboration with a Harlem-based nonprofit that we basically purchase our food items from upstate New York exclusively from Black and brown farmers. And we have our farm stand from June through November, every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's on the corner of 110th Street and Malcolm X Boulevard. We want to make sure that our community has affordable and accessible, good food to eat. NYPD Community Link. That's an initiative that we started on 110th Street last year. Basically what it is, it's a multi-agency effort where we have NYPD, Department of Homeless Services, and the Department of Mental Health addressing persistent quality of life issues on 110th Street corridor. Coming out of COVID, there were a lot of people sleeping on a bench, a lot of people dealing with mental health issues and substance abuse. So we canvass the area about 3 to 4 times a week. In the warmer months, you're going to start to see a lot more people out there. But as we're opening up the Davis Center, we want to make sure that it's safe for the public, our kids could enjoy it. And it's not just an enforcement effort, it's a rehabilitation effort. We've already connected 48 individuals to transitional and safe haven shelters just through this project alone. Stormy did mention the Dana Discovery Center. And the last thing here, which is not listed, is the Gate of the Exonerated. In 2021, that gate was named for the gentleman who the Central Park 5, known as the Exonerated 5. If you ever enter any of the gates at Central Park, you'll see that they're named after various people that represent the city, like the Boys Gate, the Merchants Gate, the Gate of the Artisans. So at 110th Street between 5th Avenue and Malcolm X, we do have what is now the Gate of the Exonerated.
I think he's okay with that one slide. So that being said, our presentation is ending, so we would love to invite you all to come to the grand opening of the Davis Center, April 26th from 12 to 4. It is a free event. There'll be a lot of activities that are free. And I should the facility itself will be free. You'll be able to walk through the facility. The WAP program, like I said, is really focusing on free and low cost, and all that will be displayed on our website, which, by the way, our website is live. So you can also go to our website and also register for any upcoming classes in yoga. But again, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I believe the next slide is email us. Stormy and I will be there at the Davis Center all day, every day now. But but we're really excited, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Wow, that really moved me. The Gate of the Exonerated. Whoa. Exonerated. Whoa. All right, Ashe. Coming up next is the founder of Grandparents Around the World, the phenomenal Yvonne Gillard Randolph. Good morning.
Good afternoon. That was amazing. I will be bringing my grandchildren to Central Park to have this amazing experience. Again, my name is Yvonne Gillard Randolph. I am the founder of Grandparents Around the World, and I'm so happy that the co-founder had an opportunity to walk in right before I got on the mic. So welcome, Ms. Brenda Prescott, co-founder of Grandparents Around the World was founded in 2005. In my living room, we were just having a conversation. I had a brunch at my home after I retired. I've been retired now 25 years, so thank God for good health. And partnering with some amazing retirees from all backgrounds, we created Grandparents Around the World. And we have been doing an amazing event in our community, what I call the young rapper was selling out of the trunk. But over those 20 years, the things that we have accomplished and the collaboration in not only Harlem, but in Bronx and Queens and Brooklyn is truly amazing. We have over 500 members, and we have partnered with, one of our biggest partners was World Vision, where they will give us truckloads of things, and we will have a grandparents walkathon in Pelham Bay Park. We did that for about 5 or 6 years. We partnered with the Salvation Army, where, how this story started, sitting in my living room. They said, you never heard my, I said, you never heard my story. And they said, what is, I said, well, you know, my mother had the 15 children and living in this place called Cross, South Carolina. And my grandmother was just a pillar of the community. That's why I serve. That's why I can open the door to you and say, good morning, how are you? And have a blessed, wonderful day. Because that's what the fiber of my being is serving. And we have to give back to our community. It doesn't matter whether it's a small portion or a larger portion, we all are dedicated to give back. We have to give back because our young children are looking at us. We are the grandparents right now. And because I had that experience with my grandmother, I was actually able to sit down and wrote this, what they said, amazing play called Dinner at Grandma's. That was in our community for about 12 years. We were presented at the Salvation Army. And after that, on that same day that we were sitting around, you know what? No, I want to create an organization that's going to support the people like my grandmother that have been in this community and doing amazing things. They don't even really want the recognition. And what I would tell my grandmother is not for you, it's for me.
Amen.
And that's why we wrote this play, amazing play, Dinner at Grandma's, was at the Salvation Army for 12 years, where I had an opportunity to come 2007 at the Harlem Arts Alliance meeting, and Mr. Rivers put me, and I said, my name is Yvonne Gillard, and I wrote this play called Dinner at Grandma, and the great James Stovall, which I have a lot of footage of, became the director of Grandparents Around the World. So let's just welcome him in the room right now. So before I get into this, we've been to the Bronx Museum for 5 years. We're programming. We partnered with New Rochelle, Mercy College, where we would do our mentoring program, and we would do the grandparents walkathon. We did the forum at the Bronx Museum, and the biggest highlight was that when we had the opportunity to work with James Earl Jones in 2019. So when I said we have done amazing work, it really, and 20 years out, right? None of this work, or very little of this work, or even my story, which is getting ready to do a documentary on me, is still in my computer or in archive. So you're going to, next 20 years, you're going to see some of the amazing work that we have done over the last 20 years. So what we're doing now is like, the next 20 years, we have to become not a volunteer, because that's the core of our being, but we have to be able to come to our organization. I think we deserve it. We have an amazing board, and that's what we're working on now. So the slide that you're going to see in a minute, you can start the slide. Oh, it's our 2000 grandparents ball. We've been doing this ball. This ball started at Salvation Army, where we were bringing horses out to grandparents. I have the documentation, because all of our work is documented. Grandparents coming down Lennox Avenue to the Salvation Army to celebrate the grandparents ball. And not only from New York City, from Chicago, Louisiana, different parts of the grandparents. Now you asked us how we was funded. We put in our resources. We were never funded. We had some collaboration, but this is how we produce without funding. Just people getting together, believing in our mission, and said, listen, I'm going to help you again, like you had just did at that part. So we can go to the next slide, make sure I'm not charging them because oh, it didn't move, right? So this is the grandparents' ball, and this is our 15th anniversary of the grandparents' ball, but it's actually the 20th anniversary of grandparents. Thank you so much. Oh, great. Of grandparents around the world. I'm gonna make this really fast. So this is me at one of the balls. This is the work that we presented. This is what our ball looked like. We have red carpet. The grandparents come in, they're dressed up. They can walk as family members or you can walk as individually. This is actually a book myself in 2019, I believe. And these are some of my honorees. Again, for prominent young ladies and young men that's really just serving the community and being a part. This is our Asian community that comes out and dance with us, amazing, and they are definitely committed to our organization since 2009. Again, the red carpet, the grandparents, and they're coming in into our event. Another, when we were at the Hutchinson Center, we would do our mentoring program. This is the hat that I actually made. This is the hat. We actually got the hat, gloves, and the young man went out and bought white shirts for the young man, bow tie, and that's how we presented these young ladies. So when you ask this question, it's like, okay, well, Yvonne, where are you going there? I want to make sure. Where are you going? I want to go back, 15 levels. Where are you going? Where are you going with this? We just believe that it's time for us to make some money, right? It's time for us to make some money. So what we evaluate, we got an event planner, we have an amazing marketing person that's helping us out with this, and we're looking for partnership. So as we move into the next 20 years, we want everyone in this room to be a part of our organization. We do have a membership. Our membership starts at $20. Whether it's Community Board 10, Community Board 11, the Bronx Chamber of Commerce, Manhattan Chambers of Commerce. I sat on the Salvation Army Advisory Board. I sat on the Arts and Culture board at Harlem Hospital under Mr. Rivers. So we are doing amazing thing in this community. And we just ask you to join us. This is also how we produce the ball. I brought it up. This is our magazine that we produce for this grandparents ball, and it's called a journal, and we sell the pages. So please ask about that. You can go on our website.
Welcome, good morning. Hi, you can start the video. So on April 20, my name is Tyrone Burkett. I'm a saxophonist, but that's okay. Saxophonist and composer. On April 22nd, we're having a concert at the Jazz Gallery. It's entitled Tyrone Burkett Presents Sonic Sanctuary 2. We had one during the first minus 47 administration. The purpose of the concert. Come on, fast enough. Can you turn that up? like it says, revival. And sometimes we get stuck, and we get big, and we get, oh man, overwhelmed. And this is to take us out of that state. As you can see, I'm really passionate about this. This is not just a career move to have a concert. This is a gift. This is a giving where you come and you're paying $20 to come in, really to support what we're doing, because we are fully funded to do this concert. So you're coming to help us with the overhead. The QR code, if you click the QR code, it will give you the ticket information back. You can also click on the QR code, and that will help you to be able to get a QR code. You get a nice little profile of everything that is about. Videos, you get a bio, concept, you get everything that's right there, and it's even songs you can download. So you get songs that you can put in your iTunes, put in your phone, put in your Spotify, and you can take them with you. So this it would be great if y'all could come out and be with us. Click the QR code. It's April 22nd. It's a Tuesday, so it is an after work event. But definitely come out and check that out. Thank you. Did you enjoy the music? Yeah. We got more for y'all. We got a whole bunch of stuff for you. So please come out and join us. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost there. How's everybody doing out there? Fantastic. I would just like to ask, when people are presenting, if we will not leave our seats or move around the space. They deserve our focus and our attention as well. So we don't want to distract from what they're saying and what they're presenting. So we just want to hold space for one another. Is that okay? Thank you very much. Now coming to is the founder and executive director of Building Young Minds. I'll give him a warm Harlem Arts Alliance welcome, Jonathan Escori. Good morning, welcome.
Good afternoon, Harlem. Everyone feeling? I'm Jonathan Escofri, the founder of Building Young Minds. I grew up right across the street. I lived across the street. As a kid, we went to home school. Artists that as well too. So from that point, I decided to just start to students from across New York and Harlem with mentors to be able to help them. So we took a break in 2015 and relaunched this year. So the new initiative, Building Young Minds, is that we're looking to monetize and incentivize the literary arts. And what does that mean? We're going to be creating an NIL model for scholars. And NIL is name, image, and likeness, where high school, elementary, and up students are able to monetize their athletic abilities. But when you think about the scholars, if there's no incentive for them to pick up a book, where will our next generation come from? Like Black leaders in dismantle. Like one of our board members here, Robert Newman III, I'll have him come up and speak a little bit more later about our partnership. But we've been incentive creation of Building Young Minds first for the kids, creation of Building Young Minds first so the kids can come and work. Right now we're staying on top of what new tech are and as an app experience, so we can engage students from not only just in the home, but across the country and around the world as an app experience. We partner and around the world as an app experience. We partner with a local Harlem tech company called Sync, where they grow and work for you with educate our communities. We have a wealth of resources. We have funding. We don't have no money, and we spend billions of dollars on night every year.
right? They said we can't work together. Well, we could stand in line when the Jordans drop for hours. That's collective responsibility. We can do that for the things that actually benefit our future selves. And it's up to us to do it now. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. For those who didn't go to business school or aren't familiar with it means that we're invested in our artists, we are a for-profit entity, and we are equally invested in our community. We have a triple bottom line and a responsibility to our folks to be successful in order for them to be successful, and in order for us to be successful, pour back into them. It's a very circular process. Building young minds is important to us because, like I said earlier, we have to teach our community how to write, how to read, how to be interested in literary arts, and how to control our narrative from a very early age. I love that Jonathan created this model because at the end of the day, they will chase after the things that we deem as important, that we incentivize, that we encourage, and as they look up to us, we have to pour back into their ideas and think about what's important to them.